It's no secret that I am a huge admirer of Senator Elizabeth Warren. She has been one of the fiercest fighters on behalf of working people. I feel truly honored to have gotten to have this conversation with her. I hope you'll stay tuned and watch. Senator, what is keeping you up at night? Something that no one's talking about? Is there anything that has been really on your mind right now?
I worry that the Republicans are taking the first step to completely destroying our healthcare system as we know it. They basically have put $1 trillion in cuts in the support that goes into healthcare. It's going to knock 15 to 20 million people off their healthcare entirely. And it's going to drive up premiums for literally tens of millions more all around the country. And when that happens, there are some people who will just say, I can't afford healthcare anymore. My healthcare doubles, my healthcare triples. I'm done. I'm out of this. And who will those people be? They'll be the people who are healthier, or at least for the moment think they're healthier. They'll be the people who say, okay, I'll cross my fingers and make a go of this for a year. And what happens is then the insurance pool shrinks. It's sicker and sicker people. And next year, even if the Republicans don't do anything more, premiums go up again. And more people say, I can't do this. And so health insurance just gets caught potentially in a death spiral here, where the people who are left are people who literally can't give up health insurance. People who have terrible things that have happened to them, terrible illnesses or diseases, and they've got $120,000 a month for the particular drugs they're taking, but that they have to pay everything they've got to be able to get that coverage. And everyone else is out there going to the hospital if something goes wrong, but also not getting the lump checked out, not having that headache looked at, looking at the baby and thinking, I think she'll be okay if we wait until tomorrow. Let's give it another day or two. All those decisions that mean some number of people are going to not get early care and die from that. None of this has to be that way. I'm really afraid of what that means for a lot of people in this country.
I am too. And, I think that folks who don't realize that millions of people are going to be hurt by this and that people are actually going to die because of this it's just devastating. So in that vein, I'm hoping you might do a little myth busting with me.
Sure.
I think that there are so many myths about this shutdown, things that need to be debunked, and we need to cut through the noise and get people to understand what's really happening.
Okay.
So I think a myth that I've been hearing is this is just political theater. No one is actually hurt by a shutdown.
No. Big myth. The Republicans passed these healthcare cuts in July, all by themselves. Not a single Democrat voted for them. All the Republicans voted for it. And we said then, hey guys, you're going to need to finish a budget by the end of September. You have the majority. The Republicans are in control of the House, the Senate, the White House. You're going to have to put a budget together. And in the Senate, you're going to need some Democratic votes to make that happen. We are telling you right now, you're going to have to roll back some of those cuts. We aren't going to sign off on a budget that destroys healthcare for millions of Americans. We're just not. And you know how many times the Republicans were willing to meet with us and talk about that? Zero.
Zero.
Zero. Zero. So we said, when it came time, they said, here's our budget, sign it or else. We said no. And that's what shut down the government. We said, we can't do that. And how many times since then have the Republicans come to the table to negotiate? Zero. So they won't negotiate with us when the government is open and we're trying to make something happen. They won't negotiate with us now. And so the consequence of this is it really is this fight over health care. And this is the Democrats standing up and saying, I don't care if you're a Democrat, a Republican, an independent, a libertarian, a pucks on all their houses. It doesn't matter what your politics are. The healthcare system is already in trouble but it is going to be devastated by these cuts. And if you get your health insurance off an exchange, good luck to you. If you have a grandma in a nursing home who has outlived her savings and is not independently wealthy, good luck to you. If your cousin had the baby that ran up $1 million in medical bills before the baby was even a month old, they're saying good luck to her too, because the Republicans are saying cut, 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 cut. They're all going to lose their benefits. They're going to lose their health. So that's what we're fighting over. It's not theater. This is real life.
Couldn't agree more. And I hope that people really get that. Okay, another myth. Either both parties are equally to blame, or, as it was saying on government websites and in auto-response emails, the Democrats and the radical left are to blame for this shutdown.
No and no. Giant myths. As I was just describing, the Democrats have come to the table and said, work with us. You don't get to just make a huge change like this in how America operates. You don't get to just make this huge decision all by yourself, that seniors are going to get kicked out of nursing homes and people's health insurance is going to double and triple all by yourself. Come negotiate with us. We get that we may not get everything we want, but damn, let's sit down and talk about this. And the Republicans said, nope, we'd rather shut down government than negotiate with the Democrats over healthcare. And by the way, I want to be real clear about this. Donald Trump told them, don't negotiate with the Democrats. And they have followed through on that.
Unbelievable. Okay, myth number 3. The government saves money during a shutdown.
This one is not only a myth, it's like totally upside down. So there are a lot of people who are not working right now. The people who work in the national parks. There are folks who aren't at the Social Security Administration right now. A lot of folks who are furloughed, it's called right now. Under federal law, when they come back, they will get their full paycheck for every day that they were gone.
But Donald Trump is saying that he's not going to give them back pay.
Okay, you're going to love this part. It was after the last shutdown, which was when Donald Trump was president, that Congress passed a law that said when there's a shutdown, all of the federal employees, all of the federal employees get paid. And guess which president signed that into law?
Could it be the one and only Donald Trump?
You got it exactly right. That is the law. It's not up to him. He cannot do one of his executive orders and put a stop to that. So, yeah, it's costing us money. Plus, I'm just throwing a couple of more nerdy points about it. It costs us money because everybody in government has to gear up in advance, and they have to put a stop on sending those paychecks out and have to alter what's going to be done here and make a contingency plan. So what do we do if nobody's in the building and this happens and that happens? So there's a lot of energy that should go to answering your phone calls when there's a problem or inspecting the lettuce when it arrives at the dock. That all gets diverted somewhere else. I do want to say on this, though, Donald Trump has carefully kept one part of government open. You're going to love this one. It's the little slice over at the Department of the Treasury that will make sure that Argentina gets its $20 billion bailout.
Unbelievable.
That part of government is open. So, it's clear that cut healthcare for millions of Americans, that's cool. But Argentina is still going to get a bailout because Donald Trump says so.
Okay, well, the other thing that people have been saying is what I think is another myth. Essential services aren't affected.
Well, I wish it were true, but it's just not. Look, part of the reason is that essential services, you kind of have to talk through what that means. They don't include things like the people who are continuing to do healthcare research. I regard that as essential, and it matters when you
Mhm.
close those pieces off, when people can't sign up to be part of a study, when when the work can't go forward. It also matters that when our workers who are essential, like our TSA folks, I just came through, had to fly back to Washington from Boston. And here are all these folks who are showing up, bless them, but they're not getting paid for it.
Right.
They'll get paid at the end. That's why I said it doesn't save any money. But right now, they got to borrow money to be able to make their mortgages and to be able to pay their groceries. I I Yes, it matters, and our essential workers, I appreciate their being there, but no one should be as disrespectful to them as saying it doesn't really matter during a shutdown because they gotta show up and do their work anyway.
I saw that military service members were in food pantry lines
Yeah.
and are, that there is an enormous stress and burnout potential safety risks for the folks who are providing essential services, but things that are non-essential, things like SNAP benefits, FDA food safety inspections, and housing assistance that don't count as essential are still pretty essential in our minds. I mean, it's really like such a misconception.
Right, think about that for a minute. You feel a lot better that the food inspectors are not there checking out the fresh produce that comes in, checking out the meat that comes in. That's the whole point here, is that it is essential to keep the pieces working together and to keep those dedicated public servants paid. That's what's right.
Exactly. And, make food poisoning great again, I guess.
Well,
Um,
we all love that, right?
yeah. Um, so, okay, I have one last myth. I think that there are some people who are saying that this is just about politics in DC, that this isn't something that ripples into every community, but it's just, this is politics. This is about DC. This isn't about us.
Boy, that's exactly backwards. This is about the lives of every single person in this country. Understand that if the Republicans go through with these cuts that they have put in place, there won't be anybody who won't be touched by this. Many will be touched directly because they currently get their insurance off the health exchanges, particularly small business owners, a lot of farmers. Many will be affected because they have private health insurance, but the cost is going to shoot through the roof because of the rest of the uncompensated care that's going to be pushed off to the insurers. But many will be affected because they do have elderly loved ones who count on the Medicaid system to make sure they can pay for a nursing home spot. Um, they have a neighbor who uses a wheelchair or a home health aide to be able to live independently. People don't hold up signs that say, I rely on Medicaid, I rely on Affordable Care Act tax credits. In fact, many people aren't even entirely sure that's what they're getting. They go under these programs, go under different names. In Oklahoma, it's called Sooner Care. In Massachusetts, we call it Mass Health, a lot of different names. But the point is, it's the same central program. And when you destroy that central program, then that means that a lot of people around the country who were already challenged to put it together, or people who are, in there at their jobs making it happen, but they get that extra boost from this program. They lose that, and lives change in really important ways, in ways that people start deciding groceries versus healthcare, a roof over my head or healthcare. Do I take my child in to see the doctor? And that's what we're fighting for here. Understand these cuts hit harder in states that elected Trump than in the blue states, the ones that voted for the Democrats. We're not playing politics here. We're saying, as Democrats, we want to stand up for all the American people. And we want the power to be with people, to do what's right for people and do what people want us to do.
Absolutely. And I think that, one of the things that has always inspired me so much about you is helping people maintain a sense of hope
Yeah.
even in really dark times, and think about how we can, even as individuals, try to make a difference and try to fight for things that we care about and to fight for others, and to do all of that. And so thank you for always being such an inspiration. But what is the one thing that you would say that ordinary people can do that actually makes a difference right now?
Oh, right now, this is the time to raise your voice. And I don't care if you've called your senator and you've called your rep before. Now is the time to do it again. If you have Democrats representing you, so far, nearly all of us are in this fight. Call anyway. Keep people headed in the right direction. If you live in a state where you're represented by a Republican in Congress, in the Senate, make those calls. And after you make the call once, the next day, make it again and again and again. Power lies with people. And let me do a quick one here. This isn't the first time this has come up. Republicans have come after your health care before. They did it back in 2017. They had the majority in the House, the majority in the Senate, and Donald Trump was sitting in the White House. And people raised their voices all over this country, literally. And by one vote, we managed to save healthcare in the United States Senate. Some of you will remember it was John McCain who gave that thumbs down and saved healthcare for millions. It's because of the phone calls, the texts, the emails. It's because enough people said, whoa, you're not doing that to my family. You're not doing that to my Nana. You're not doing that to my cousin or my neighbor. No to the Republicans. This is the moment to say that your voice matters.
Absolutely. And I will keep encouraging everyone to do just that. And thank you, thank you, thank you for fighting for all of us, forever and ever, before now and continuing on into the future. So appreciate you.
Thank you so much. I believe in us and what we can do.
Me too.
Good.
Thanks so much for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe. It makes all the difference. And please let me know in the comments who you think I should interview next.